Oh, hello, my friends. It is time once again for the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW, and this is the Smackdown Recap for December 30th, 2022, the final episode of Smackdown of the year of our Lord 2022. And it marks the last episode of this show for the year. You thought I was going to say forever. No, for the year. Oh, what a year it's been for us here at O Wrestling. Oh, the look back on the amount of things we've done, the people we've met, the hands we've shaken, not stirred. But we've had a great year. Oh, we have so much planned for 2023. Can't wait. But that's not what you're here with. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Smackdown, the final Smackdown for 2022. So the good, we had two big returns for WWE. One being Charlotte Flair, who somehow rushed to a SmackDown Women's Championship match by playing off of Ronda Rousey's ego and then taking the strap with an old school roll up. Charlotte Flair returned as the face, which I don't know how that's going to work out, but she is now the SmackDown Women's Champ. It was a good way to get the title off of Ronda in that she capitalized on her just having a pretty rough fight with Raquel Rodriguez, who showed off a lot of power, a lot of, I was going to say strength, which is kind of the same thing. Raquel had a good showing. The match was pretty good. They had a lot of good spots with Raquel looking strong and Ronda looking technical. I was worried for both of them in many spots with Raquel holding Ronda over her head, but they got through it. I think it highlighted Ronda's strengths as a technician, and it put Raquel over as a legitimate threat. But obviously that quote unquote arm injury was going to do her in. But Ronda did get slammed around the ring quite a bit, and that allowed Charlotte Flair to kind of take advantage. Now, she didn't really take advantage of any particular injury that Ronda sustained, just that she was tired and she got caught in a roll up. But they pulled the strap off of Ronda for good reason, I would think. Charlotte is a better performer with the belt. She can cut a better promo. She can get the crowd riled up, and this gives Ronda an excuse to kind of go away for a little bit, regroup, spend some time with her family, do a little training, and figure out what she wants to do on the road to WrestleMania. So good. Charlotte returned. Another good. John Cena returned. It was it's always good to hear that man's music hit. I feel like people, especially in my age group, which is old, remember John Cena kind of being the top guy that was kind of like Roman Reigns, where he was a little forced upon us, but John Cena did everything. The man carried that company on his back for many years, and anytime now that his music hits, it is a lot like when Stone Cold's music hits. It gives you that same sort of pop feeling, where you're just like, oh yeah, great, a vet is back, and just seeing him run to the ring and do his whole shtick. Obviously, he wasn't going to wrestle a full match. I think he wrestled a good 2.5 minutes, but he did the classic John Cena's. He did the bump and feed to the you can't see me, and he didn't do an AA. Yeah, he did those things. But John Cena hasn't been in the ring for what, a year now, so yeah, he wasn't gonna do a whole lot. But the match with him and Sammy and Roman, it was all right. It was fine. But having Cena come back and give the crowd that pop, it was pretty good. The bad, I can't think of anything bad that happened. I would default to the Bray Wyatt LA Knight stuff, but they've actually moved the story forward. It's at a snail's pace, but it's actually moving forward. So I can't say that's bad. Didn't see any match that was particularly bad either. Yeah, I did. There was nothing there that was particularly bad. So that's good. No crazy bad spots. But there was one ugly thing, and that was during the Kevin Owens, John Cena versus Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn match. I don't know if it was the crowd was too low or the cameramen were too close or the mics were too hot, but right before John Cena got tagged in to do his crowd popping bump and feed, they picked up every word of their call outs to Kevin Owens and Roman The cameraman got right in John Cena's face and he's saying, slow, all right, stop, wait, all right, tag. It was so clear. It was as I took a moment and I said, wait, this is part of their setup. This is not their actual in-ring calls. And I was like, oh no, it is, because the ref was also doing calls. She was yelling slow to slow them down before the tag, and then she yelled tag to Roman and Cena yelled tag to KO, and they did it. Yeah, I mean, we know professional wrestling is professional wrestling. They have to do these things, but a big part of the disbelief is us not hearing the calls. That's kind of the whole point. That's why they either do it low or they hide behind people's hair or whatever they do. To keep the not the mystique, but to kind of keep the show going. And the fact that the camera and the mics were so hot that they picked up every call of that tag, I was chuckling a little bit. I was like, that's kind of funny. It was a little ugly. I'll put it in the ugly category, but not bad. It was just a little messy on the production side, because they picked up. I mean, it was clear as day. When you watch a match, you kind of hear what people are saying when they're talking to each other, and I'm talking about like when they're cutting like in-match promos at one another. Like, you can't beat me. You can kind of hear them. This one was like they were in an interview, like they were mic'd up, like the NFL hot mics, when they'll put a microphone on the receiver or a quarterback during the game and you hear what they were saying. It was like that. It was that crisp, that clear. If you have any way to go back and watch it, that was a great moment. But that was the only ugly. I'm trying to think. I want to find a bad, or else kind of what was the point of saying good, bad, and ugly. But SmackDown wasn't too bad. Nothing jumps out at me. But it was a good episode to close out the year. It kind of did a lot of things to pop the crowd for the last episode of Smackdown before the new year. I feel like they really wanted to close out the year big with returning Charlotte Flair, and obviously they had already Cena in the chamber. The one thing I'll close this episode out with is another sign of my age. I texted at Dad's first time during the Cena match when Cena came out and said Cena's going bald, and you could see the back of his head is just like non-existent. And we have a constant kind of back and forth about how wrestlers we grew up with are looking these days. I did a whole episode on great retired wrestlers, but someone like Shawn Michaels, who was the Heartbreak Kid, his name was synonymous with being a handsome dude. He's looking pretty rough these days. And he's not, let me not say he's looking rough. I mean, he's getting old. We all are going to look rough. But that, and then John Cena coming out and just kind of balding, and not even in a way that my father was balding, in a way that I will be balding. Even worse. I mean, John Cena, he still has a pretty hefty set of hair up front, but the back is kind of checked out. I'm going to be the opposite. The front of my head is going to go away. I'm going to look a little George Jefferson-y. Oh boy. Anyway, that's all we got for the SmackDown recap. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Have a happy and safe holiday, and prepare yourself for new wrestling in 2023. Thank you so much for listening to the O Wrestling Podcast. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember, no matter what happens, I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.